G'day everyone, welcome back to the Fantasy Take TV podcast. After round one, SuperCoach is back. We've got our scores and some ranks. Some better than others. I know you had a good week, George, but yeah, it's interesting. Like one round of data. I guess we got 14 games of data now after opening round as well. So we'll speak a bit about some trends and obviously a couple of unfortunate injuries. One that you somehow managed to dodge yet again. I feel like you dodged.
That's happened a few times now.
I think that has. Who's it been? I can't remember. But
just 1 year.
Gibcus, yeah, a rookie. Yeah.
I didn't have Baz when he missed the round 2 with the calf that they said. So
anyway, how'd you go, George?
Yeah, good. I mean, look, we would have scored the same if you captained. You don't have Nando, do you?
No, but like Nick or something. Yeah.
Yeah, so you did Butters captain, I had Nando captain, and you would have scored more than me. So, like, yeah, not getting carried away. Better teams out there than mine, but yeah, 2, 3, 4, 1 ranked 10K. And yeah, there's 20K ranks between us and 60 points. So it's like, don't even look at rank to round 5. My MVP this week, I'll give it to Sherry because that was as about a concerning a 120 plus as I've seen. But we need to, like, he has so many good fixtures, even throughout the whole year, like double ups as well. So we're just going to bank on that. And I dare say when some tougher matchups come, I'm extremely worried when he can't farm stoppage points. Fault Geordie Clark, man, that D3 spot killed me. And there's a difference between you and me. I'm probably a more consistent player than you, but you can pick players that I can't pick, like Ed Richards and Worrell this year. Like I can't do it. But yeah, good D3 Worrell there. But yeah, Geordie Clark, I'll probably cash him in next week if I want to reallocate funds. But we'll see. I think he had probably the worst 5 minutes I've ever seen from a defender in the last, when the game was on the line. But that's okay. Or maybe that's being a bit harsh, but yeah, he'll feel like he owes the team probably after those turnovers. But yeah, 74 from Geordie. Need a bit more from that from him. So I'll give him another go this week. And if the break even's too bad, I'll sell. But yeah, definitely. I think I need to relax. I was rewatching my video that I've recorded, and I was getting the notepad out within like 2 minutes. I was like, I wanted to re-record after. I was just like, just relax, mate. Watching it. So I think it's just, not take too serious at this point. Just, see how we go. But try to relax a bit. I think there's nothing. Usually I'm extremely reactionary. We'll see how we go in this podcast. But I think I wanted to trade Walsh after one game, but I'll hold him now. Anyway,
after seeing one kick, George didn't watch the game. He saw one kick. It was a clanger, and he said, "Get this guy out of my team."
Okay. Anyway, that's enough from me. How did you go this week?
Just before that, that's what everyone loves about you, George. You keep it real, mate. You don't hide behind any, fakeness. You wear your heart on your sleeve. You speak your mind. Maybe it's reactionary. Who cares? Like we all are to some degree. Yeah. Like Geordie Clark, man, he'll come back. He's going to average 103. Like he'll probably pop a 120 soon. But I know it's like, far out. If it doesn't happen next week, then maybe you want to put the funds elsewhere. But yeah, honestly, I didn't get like a heap wrong, but that definitely was the shining light of the week. Was Weil at D3. 60 at quarter time, didn't go on with it too much, but like they had to change something. They couldn't just let him mop up like he was in the first quarter. So they've had to put someone on him. I think Membry sort of like made sure of him a bit more accountable after that. But I just like what he does, George. He doesn't like I don't even think he had an intercept mark. I checked the end of the game and he still scored 116. So it's like that's usually you expect a couple from him. Didn't get any of them. He just kicks long down the line or sideways to Malera or Laird and moves on with the game. So he was definitely my MVP. I scored 2280. And yeah, as you said, about 30K, 20K between us. But yeah, very early. Doesn't really matter much. And my fault is Butters because of that captaincy. And not just because he's obviously not a fault, but on the weekend I thought he was. Foss went to him. His first stint, in the first quarter, didn't really get near it. And then he came back on. Got a few touches after that. They threw him forward for a bit. I think he even started at half back for a bit. Like they were trying to get rid of the tag. Foss was following him everywhere, so they found that out pretty quick. But after half time, like Port was still in the game. Like, they're probably going to lose, I'd say anyway. But Butters kind of just gave up that third quarter. One touch, I think it was. I think he ended with a few more tackles, but to that point, I was watching him just stand around, wait for someone else to win the ball, and not even go in there and get it himself, or tackle, or pressure contests on the ground. It was weird. I don't know. It's a watch. Like, obviously, he's a great player. One of probably top 5, 10 in the comp, wherever you want to put him. But I wasn't that impressed with it. Didn't look good. Like,
he did say
anyway.
last year, presser, the driver for him to whether he signs or goes will be determined by like he wants to win premierships. It's like not family, not friends, premiership, like winning football.
Yeah.
I dare say that's probably in the back of his mind if this year doesn't go well for them.
Yeah, which it probably won't. I mean, it's probably the worst I've seen a bottom 6 players that Port have had in some time. Like, you can't name half of them. McKinley is his name. Played on the wing all day against Dylan Stevens and made him look like I don't know, prime
Ben
Dan
Cousins.
Hanbury or Ben Cousins or Isaac, whoever. Pick your best wingman that you think. Like, it was ridiculous, and fair enough to Dylan Stevens. But anyway, enough of that. He's my fault. I'm not captaining him, George, in the near future. I'll VC him, but I'm not going to put the C on him. And I know he's got Essendon this week, so we'll talk about that right at the end of the pod. But I was pretty annoyed watching him. So anyway, it does suck when you get an average captain round 1. I know you've had worse than me with that, so I won't dwell on it too much. But yeah, when Bont's going 160, track, I probably should have thought more about track,
Yeah.
So we'll talk about that. But anyway, let's move on. Injury news, George. We usually wait till Tuesday, maybe do the pod, but I messaged you tonight and said, looks like we've got most of the injury news that are relevant for SuperCoach anyway, that people will own. So what have we got?
So Errol, unfortunately, off for surgery 4 months. So that's 2 years of probably All Australians gone for him. That's pretty bad. But yeah, he'll be back and Swans will be humming back into the year. Heaney, minor hammy. So he's a test for this week on the short break with the bye. Why risk? We saw what happened with Rosie, but I guess we'll trust the medicos on that one. Todd Marshall has an ankle issue. No major damage. I dare say he'll be listed as like a test or maybe 1 week or something. I don't know. But the main thing is no major stuff. So with the 9 in his system, I think we just hold. Sounds like short term. Philippu's getting a bit of a worry now, a bit of a cop to cork, like the role's sort of not there. Like Windy's going in CBAs now, so it's like you got Nas, he's sort of everywhere. So the high CBA role he had, the third cog he had in the preseason game is not really there for him, but he's 180k. And Noah Anderson cleared of I mentioned it was a cork for poo, but I don't know, I can't remember where. It might have been quad or something.
Yeah, quad, yep.
Yep. It's Nando cleared, had a HIA late in the game against West Coast. He's cleared, which is great for owners like me. And Windsor, I mean, this is not really an injury for the game, but there was a tweet saying he had a cork before the game, or maybe a day before the game or something. So maybe roll was all right, 50+% CBAs, but maybe the output might have not been as good because of the cork at training the week before. That's all I could find, unless you can think of anything else.
Nothing, I think, that's too relevant. Again, we'll get the full injury list tomorrow, but there might be some relevant ones on who's coming back, like Brizzy. They got a few coming back that teams will be mainly for ZZ owners, I guess. What happens there? There'll be others, but yeah, again, we'll get that tomorrow. And I'm sure you'll have some thoughts on it in a video later in the week. And teams will obviously be the big one, who stays in, who stays out, especially for rookies, stuff like that. But we're mainly just here to talk about the game, like the game in general, the way it's going. We'll talk about some rookies and mid-prices, I think, what we think of them. But I think you said in the video, George, it might be the first. I mean, I don't think I've boosted every year the boosts have been in round 1, but I think you might have. And it doesn't look like that this year, The cash, I mean, the title of your video, Guns and Rookies, long live. Like, it's looking that way, and I know a lot of people liked a lot of mid prices, and we've come around to them more and more year on year. But whilst there might be a few good ones, there's a great crop of rookies. It looks like this year, George.
To be fair to mid-price structures, and it's very much year dependent. We've seen that in the past.
Yeah.
Like Lombard was probably he got going late, but if he doesn't get going, that's a 40. So part of it is to avoid these types of scores. But I think the rookie pool was quite strong, and a lot of the players did 90 plus in VFL. And we got another 2 from nowhere in Blamires and Murdoch as well. So that pretty much strengthened that. And yeah, at the end of the day, like, one, you want to complete a team. So guns and rookies means you have more trades to finish a team later on. And, rookies are priced at 20. Like, it's OP. Like, how much money are you going to get from that? You can't get that sort of money from mid prices unless they're like extreme, like a Bailey Smith, for example, or a Sherry back in the day. But for this year, it looks like Guns and Rookies is doing well. To be fair, Bruin looks like a great one. Parrish and Young have a bit of potential, but have a few like Parrish, Tog, Young fall forward for a quarter. So otherwise, there's some good ones out there, but I think it's one problem is I can't really like move off any of them. Like, I can't pull money from anywhere at the moment if I want to change stuff. So that's probably a negative of Guns and Rookies, but that's how I'm seeing this year. And fortunately, like, I had Blackiston up until a video I did live and took him out when I saw Reeves got named. So Blackiston had the role, but just the scoring wasn't there.
Yeah.
What's your read on this year? Do you have any different opinion to that in terms of Guns and Rookies? Better.
I'll match you with that Blackiston. Like, I know I've been talking up Kitty a bit for a couple of weeks, and I took him out late. Probably not to any reason, but I just needed some money, and a little bit of cold feet. But I needed some money, and it just to me looked like the one point in my team where I was happy to take it out. And look, it's one game again from him, but he may not survive the Axe this week with players coming back. We'll see. I just think, unless they're like a prime, I don't know, like a Bruin that we thought of, Parrish, Young, like Buderick again, one that like, look, he managed a 70, but if I needed to take cash out, it was probably him was the spot as well. That you faded him, you probably weren't too, like, you didn't mind fanning him in the end, and he hasn't gone berserk. Yeah, Buderick, like if you needed money somewhere else, you were happy to take it from there. So
sort of, I was like
a little worried.
So he started scoring once Dale went forward.
Yes, exactly. And Dale was underdone last week.
So it's more like you just think of it of access to points, access to the role. So it's like, so Jake's is, I think, majority defense, and they have 3 wingmen, Bramble, Williams, somebody else.
Davo.
Davidson. So you got 3 halfbacks basically there. So I figured like he's probably capped at like an 80. That's still a good pick, but I'm like, okay, I'm willing to let it go.
Yeah, because time will tell with him. But he's not going to be like your Bruin's scoring power right now looks insane. But I mean, the way I see it, let's just get into it, George. Look, it's been not a massive sample, but there's a couple of tweets that were floating around today in the Discord. Maybe you've seen them. And the first one I'll get to is the opportunities for some players. We'll get to an overall like game trend. There's a great one from Vams. I think he's a big AF fantasy creator that
he does a lot
overall. So we'll get to that one in a sec.
Work for us.
Adding all up the stats, someone's got to do it. But this one is from Rowan. So he's from the AFL Fantasy Marketplace, I think it's called. And this is something, look, it's been 2 games for some players, 1 for most, just to maybe track over the next couple more weeks. But when we'll get to Vams' tweet about all this, like the way the game's going, this is something that I think is going to be something to look at, like at least see what players are getting these opportunities. Like it's not something like groundbreaking, but it's just a nice table that Rowan's put together of all the ways you can basically get the footy. And it's handball receives, groundball gets, freeze for, marks, gathers from hitouts, obviously, and kick-ins. And so he just called it opportunities a game. So obviously different players have different profiles to where they get them. Some might be more kick-ins and marks, as for a defender. Some might be more ground balls and gathers from hitouts and handball receives. But there's a table here, and it's got the first, I think, 20 players or 15, 20 players, and like Nick Dacos is number one. Like I think
Yeah.
the way the game's going is going to suit him like even more than it already did in his first few years. 32.5. Like I think a couple people in the Discord, especially now, tight community, didn't have Nick, and it's like I think JD didn't start Nick. Like you got to get Nick in. I feel like I don't even think he played like an amazing game on the weekend. And he's still going to drop 120. I think every play, like he could average
185
130
at
this year.
halftime, and then
Yeah, and he
McAndy
hasn't.
took over in the third.
I think his kicking efficiency is like 40, 50 for the year so far. It hasn't been that great, and he's still pumping out these scores. It could get bigger.
Yeah,
Malera's second, George. It's quite funny, but he did have one game, and it wasn't a very good game. But he was really good
in 2018 for 400k.
I think he started him like 2 or 3 years.
I gave up on him, and
okay, he gave up eventually.
I'm proven wrong. I think the way he's gone. So he was massive on the weekend.
Sinclair was about a 8th year breakout. Could we see a 10th year breakout from Wayno, or is it probably?
No, I gave up. I wanted him traded.
Looks good. Zorko, again, you'd expect to be there. He's at 31. Sinclair, 29.5. Dylan Stevens, I mean, as I said off the top, that he just had a whole wing to himself on the weekend, and he was killing it. But Merritt, Holmes, Josh Dacos, Windy's had a great year so far, a couple of games. Houston
in the square on Cosy.
Yeah, I know, and still did it. Houston, Noah Anderson, Walsh, Flanders, Jagger Smith, very good. Shorty,
your man,
was pretty good. Shees and Worrell's down there. So for the most part, that's you're running outside mids. Obviously, not saying they're just outside mids, but the better outside ones, and your halfbacks. They're the ones we already know this, but like they're the ones that are going to get such benefit from the game style this year. So, I mean, what do you think, George? We'll get into the stats that Vam's had in a sec, but any thoughts from that sort of stats?
I mean, those that win it on the outside, I think Dawson would be high at some point in this sort of
He just played one game and it wasn't his best, yeah.
Yeah. Guys that can gut run, like Windy can, Nick can, Sinclair does it every game, Merritt's done it his whole life, Holmes, Baz will probably be up there at some point. He had a down round one.
Yeah.
So those guys, especially maybe more specifically for fantasy, like these are the guys you want to target a bit more.
Yes. Yeah, so it is very much more relevant in fantasy.
Like your Sarong, your Rao. I think LDU, not as extreme as those as well, but like they were a bit more reliant on
Tom Green if he was fit.
That might have been a Clary tweet as well. Yeah. The diagram.
Yeah.
So I guess you sort of want to move away from those or be cautious of those guys a bit more. I guess it makes sense because there's less opportunities to score. For them, or less access to points. But yeah, it's interesting. It's good stuff. Really good.
Yeah. Look, maybe we'll bring it up again in 2 or 3 weeks when there's been more games played and whatnot, and see who's around that mark. Just thought it was a cool way to look at stats, especially for the way the game's going, because what I'm about to get to is the way the game's going. And this is Vam's tweet. Look, it's a long one. I won't go through it all, but he's basically compared opening round last year and round 1 to opening round this year and round 1. So I think it was, we didn't have 5 in opening round last year. We had 4. So it's like 13 games compared to 14, basically. And he obviously didn't do the whole of last year because, the months get colder and wetter, and footy does change a bit. But at least at the start of both last year and this year, stoppages are collapsing. That's what he put it as. Tackles down 11%, clearances down 6, ruck contests is down 16. So like ruck contest 80 last year, 67 so far a game this year in that sample size from opening round and round 1. Ball ups and throw-ins down 24%. That's pretty big, 51 to 39. And then repeat stoppages, we did flag that too. A lot of people have. It was probably quite obvious, especially with the new centre bounce ruck rule or centre throw up, but you can jump. Like teams are going to get away from the centre bounces more often than not, and there won't be these repeat stoppages. Watching Dante, I just feel like, did you see this? Obviously watching Cherry, he won a lot of the centre bounce ones, but they didn't connect with Butters or Rosie or Drew. He put a lot down at the lap, and then Cherry was still jumping in, getting the tackle. Like, Dante, he won a lot of them, but they didn't get like enough damage they should have from him. But
I think Kingy called Sherry a bear. It was just
he is.
stuff.
He
and
is. Did you see that one tackle? He absolutely just destroyed. I forget who it was. Like came in at full speed and almost broke someone's collarbone, I reckon. Yeah. So that's stoppages, and then on the inverse, the open play is completely going nuts. So disposals are up 6%, like 40 a game. Meters gains up like 1,000 a game, 8%. Marks are up like 15 marks a game, about 8%. But inside of that, contested marks are down 11%. So it's like a lot more uncontested. Intercepts inside 50's got like obviously the highest scoring games we've seen so far are just increasing this too. And thus, George, at the end, all the fantasy points, like this is just fantasy, obviously, but stoppage points a game down 8%, like down 70 or 80. Transition points up 200, 12% increase. Kick-in points. I mean, kick-in points, it's just because there's probably more behinds kicked. Higher scoring, games gone up and down, more behinds are kicked. Well, there's going to be more kick-ins. So that's up 30%. And then throw-in points down 23%. So, look, a lot of stats I hate read. I said I wouldn't read it all, but I kind of did anyway. What's your takeaway? Like, it's a small sample. We got to say that. It's 13 game versus 14 game sample of the start of this year last year. What do you take away from it?
What's going to happen with Sherry? And then, I think the intercepts up is interesting. The old top three are top four defenders right now.
Yeah, you said this to me.
The old timers Zorko, Sinclair, Lee Stewart, the good days. So more like your intercepts. So yeah, more intercepts. Balls coming in more intercepts, and that's great for Worrell especially because him and Keane were taking all of them. Now it's all Worrell basically. So that's probably the main one. Like, do I want a defender with more intercepts or like a Whitfield that just like runs around and gets 30 every game? So yeah, I want an intercept game with my defenders, I think, but we'll see. Like, there's still players that can sort of brute force a score like a Whitfield, but yeah, very shit numbers. Yeah. So, do you take anything out of this, or does it swing your opinion on certain picks, etc.?
So, if we want to get to, which we can, we're just going to look at mid prices and rookies, but we want to get to the Gordon replacements. And last night, looking through, I'm going, okay, like obviously don't want to trade him to a player with a buy coming up, or try not to. Want to keep a premium, like because he was going to be one of my premiums. And looking at my midfield now with Nick Dacos, Zach Butters, and Eddie Richards, I'm going, they're exactly the type of mids I want to get in. And Max Holmes, like, is someone I just want to get in. Loved owning him all last year. Had a couple bad games, got tagged a couple of times, but don't tell me that this is all suited towards him, George. He plays 80% in the midfield, 80% CBA. When he doesn't, he's down in the defense, taking kick-ins or getting involved in, the ball that's exiting the D50. If he's not taking a kick in there, he's honestly running into the pocket and getting the kick to him. I think the game suits like those type of players to an absolute T. He's one of the best runners in the league. He's like endurance level athlete. He doesn't need to bang around at stoppage as much, which is probably, if you could say there's a downside, I'm sure he's improved. He's a great tackler as well, actually. So I do give him that. But let's say contested ball winning is not his number one, not in his top attributes. That doesn't matter as much anymore. The game is so fast up and down. They're the types of players I want in my team. And especially looking at the midfielders, I think there's like, a handful of those that just fit all this to a T. And look, let's maybe look at this in another few weeks. But I feel like it's enough to know. We've been watching all the games. That's the way it's going. And it's the way the AFL want it to go. The stand rule, if you're not freaking standing on a dime after a mark's taken, you're getting 50 meters against you. You got to basically just let the game go straight past you after every mark. The lasso, ball straight back in, it's going. It's off. If you're slow, you can't run. You're done, man. You got to go. You got to be such an endurance athlete. You got to have the game is so demanding. It already was, but now it's like
got to run more. Maybe
you got to run more. Maybe like it's there's not much time. There's not much time for rest, George. There's no throw-ins. You don't get a throw-in to just go. take a deep breath and, okay, we've got a stoppage here. Let's reset, get my breath back to go
I guess
again.
more goals
That shit ain't
helps.
happening. And I guess the goals helps. Yeah, sure. But man, the players, like a lot of last quarters have been, I don't know, I didn't like JL. Look, he got asked the question. I didn't like him saying, we played someone who played opening round. It's disadvantage. Yeah, he's probably right. But
Going into bat for us.
we've seen a lot of fourth. Yeah, I mean, you won it anyway.
Yeah, go on.
You didn't. But like last quarters, just people are tiring out. Like TDK was out on his legs. He was done.
Yeah.
You have to have that tank to play in the AFL or play for the whole game. So that's the players I'm looking at. Like they're the ones I want in my team. I don't, want a guy who's going to be more of a stoppage beast, more of a contested beast. Because whilst that's still important, you got to win contests to win footy. But I just feel for SuperCoach, fantasy maybe more especially. But yeah, that's the way I see it. Look, small sample, we know, but just think it's interesting and maybe something. Hopefully, Vams keeps it up. We'll see in a couple of weeks where it's at. But the ruck contest thing, dude, 67. That's bloody low.
Yeah.
That's low. I saw Cherry that game. I think he attended like 70 ruck contests and had 16 hitouts. That makes me nervous, and I don't even own him. But again, he's got such a good run, it may not matter. But that when I was looking at Gordon replacements, like I want Jackson, and obviously Jackson's not, just relying on rucking. But I'm like, man, I just want to get one of these elite transition mids into my team. So
you're getting Max Holmes for Gordon.
But again, you can't because the early buy. So that's why we love this game.
Yeah.
But yeah, like Brayshaw, geez, I don't know what happened there. Not going to get him. So wrong. Look, he was immense in the fourth quarter, but that's not someone that I attribute to this.
Andy scored nothing. Andy had one touch and Young had 0. But you got to tip your hat to Sarong though.
He was great.
Great game.
Smaller ground helps, I guess, but he was great. Dawson would be the one I would be interested in, but
he'll come down.
He'll come down. He usually always does. So yeah, to trade Gordon directly to a premium, I don't like a lot of the non-buy options really. Maybe it's LDU, but I don't want to join the club. What do you think?
I think buys make things very complicated. Like people might want to cash in, go down to Houston, bank 150K. Can't really do that this week. Do you just run with Milano this week? And
that's what I think.
Get you want next week.
That's what I think a lot of people will do.
Do you throw away potentially 50 points to get the player you want? I mean, we're already doing that with buys in our starting team. I think it's not ideal, but if I think it's like, yeah. If you really want that guy, if you want your max, I'd consider it.
Yeah. I hate looking at 500K in the bank, but best 18, it really does limit the damage of that. So look, I know you don't have Errol. You're probably going to get him in, weren't you? I would have told you to.
The reason why I have Ty Gallup is because I had Roses there, and I needed to make room for Errol, for Walsh to Errol, and obviously that didn't eventuate. But yeah.
So that's your advice. Probably get Murdoch, hold the cash, and get someone like a Houston.
Well, only if you're not happy with your options.
Yeah.
Then and Holmes is your guy.
Yeah.
Just cop the 50-point hit. Like, yeah, it hurts, but you don't want to be stuck with someone you don't want.
Oh yeah, I'll definitely play that way. Jackson, quick thoughts, because a lot of people are looking at him. Maybe go straight to the double ruck. Yeah.
I mean, the ruck contests are up 20%. Shrek's Tog is down, which I think is the right way to do things. I'm nothing against Shrek in the team, but low Tog sort of makes sense now.
Yeah.
And when he's not, I think, what was the forward time? It was under 20% or something.
Jackson?
Yeah, I think.
10%, I think, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Let's see, ruck or mid.
Yeah, I think, rules are sort of made for him. I think he's a good option, yeah. I think Gorn, another one is like the Gorn matchup is not great. He can still score in other ways, but Gorn's probably like it has to be like the worst matchup You would think.
Possibly, but he's like another mid in there, and the D's mids are for
Yeah.
young guys. Jack
All kids
Steele,
and Steele. Yeah.
yeah. So maybe he doesn't. I wouldn't look at Jackson if I get him in. It's just the 1 week. It's more like, do you trust what's going to happen with him?
Whereas I started the video,
to
like, does he have access to
continue.
points? If he's getting 56% ruck contest, plus he's playing CBA mid when he's not, like,
For
he does,
30%.
points are there for
Yeah.
him to get.
Yeah. Yeah, so to be honest, I think he was my only one that I liked with no buy, and then with a buy, it's like Max or Houston. If we think what's happened is going to continue. All right, we've talked enough about that. Basically, just talked about some rookie targets, George, and then a couple of mid prices that we've got our eye on. Maybe some in our team, if we're happy with them, and then ones that we think have failed, and finish off with captains and vice captains. Because, as I said off the top, not a massive amount to talk about after round one, just besides some injuries, and wanted to talk a bit about the game trends, because big weeks next week. I mean, there are some people on the bubble now, so we'll talk about a couple of them here. But rookies, George, old Milano Murdoch, God, he was good.
Yep.
Played pretty much exclusively forward, but rolled up to stoppage. Basically, is that extra man there. Had 15 contested. Was just cracking in. That looked exactly like a guy that is 25, played waffle all his life, and got a crack.
130 average there, yeah.
And said, you know what? I don't care what jumper I'm wearing, man. I got my chance in the AFL. I'm rage baiting Mac Andrew. I'm getting into everyone. I'm just fucking. I'm going hard. So unbelievable debut. For 99K, he's just got to stay in the team, right? I don't care if he's playing forward.
I'll go early. Like, I don't mind going early if it opens up next week in case things happen. I did a bit of homework on him earlier, or before the game, I was looking at him. Hindsight should have gone there, but it seems like good around goals, but also played a lot of midfield.
Yeah,
the Ben Cousins finger 12 celebration after a goal. That's why I knew this guy's got it. So
I did say that, yeah.
And he was probably their best 2 or 3 players. So it's more like, who do you get rid of? I guess we'll get to that after. But yeah, I think you get him in. I'm comfortable getting him in now.
Yep. Yeah, we'll look at ones that looked good that we don't have, and the next one's Cook, 90 points, mate. Got that spot in the Crom on the wing for now. Played well.
Yeah, never really been that big of a scorer. So I didn't start him, but he was sort of in a few drafts there. But he won the spot against Chase Jones, who probably won't see a spot again with that injury now.
Yep.
I think he's the DPP. We don't really have DPP, and we'll get it. Like, if you're holding a Dyson Sharp, he'll get it.
Dev.
Yeah, Dev. So that link will come.
Yeah.
I'll probably go early on him, to be honest, just in case I got crap going on next week. So I'm looking at, for me, I guess we'll get to trades after. Probably a double rookie sideways.
Early on both.
And then, maybe just we'll look at what I get next week, but maybe 1 to 0 trades the week after. So it sort of works out for me, though. I need I'm 1K short of Gallup straight to Cook. So I think it's ideally you probably don't go early, but in my scenario, I'm sort of looking at it because of that. I can't do one without the other, if that makes sense.
Yep.
I think he can go early. I think he'll play. He's got the 90 in his system now, so make some quick cash. And I think job security has to be good now. So I'd be okay going early if you wanted to.
Yep. Yeah, I think if it was one of the two you were going early on, it'd be Murdoch for me. I don't think I'd do Cook, but as George said, he's probably fine going both. Cook I'll get another look at. Like, if he drops the 40 on the wing, is it like one I pass up? Not sure. I mean, and we got to speak about Grill. He's the other one here. I think most probably went within the end, but some still wouldn't have. I didn't have him for, right up. That's who I put in for Kitty right at the death. So he is 170. Like, he is more than both of those other guys. So I don't think he's like, if you don't have him, get him in early here. And I don't think he's that level as well. So he is one you can wait another week on. But if you liked what you saw, which, I mean, most every Tigers fan would have, and everyone, he just brought something to the team that we didn't have. It's more like, is this a super coach pick that's going to make be such a must-have? I'm not still sure it is, but he played
What do you think
bloody
he
well
averages?
for his first game. 60s, which is enough to make 120K or something, yeah.
Price in the
So
20s. So yeah.
Of course. I think he averages enough. I think he's going to stay in the team. So yeah, he's definitely one that you can go for. But I almost would prioritise at least Murdoch over him, and then maybe you wait on him. But I guess if you don't have any of these, then maybe you do a Murdoch. Maybe you do too early. Sorry, is what I'm saying. And one would definitely be Murdoch. The other one, if you had to do one early, Cook or Grill, like the other one, who would you say? Grill
Probably
and get another look at Cook. Yeah.
Yeah, get another look, I think.
All right, let's talk about who sell then.
Just quick, I assume like everyone else has, you got your Lombard, you got your Dev, you got your Blamires, Sarong, Jakes, Lindsay. I assume most people have all those, so I'll just skip over those.
Yeah. We shouldn't assume, but I was checking a couple teams and they had Finn McRae. So look, anyway, get all those other guys. I'm sure people know what ones are pretty much must have if you didn't own.
Maybe they took the Bonsi or something. I don't know.
Possibly. So sell. I mean, this might be the harder part because a lot of the benches looked pretty good this week across all lines. Maybe you had Lindsay from West Coast on the bench. He dropped to 60, did well in the fourth quarter. Myers, not everyone fielded him, scored a 70. I mean, my forward bench was Todd Marshall and Dev Robertson, so
Oh wow,
freaking hell, there's 200 points. And it's not like Leo and maybe Philippou. Look, maybe he's a sell. Anyway, we'll talk about some other ones. Dyson Sharp, George. I was kind of getting cold feet just before the game, and I'm like, look, I think he'd be a great player, but what role has he got in this team? And he's going to struggle for midfield time. He'll probably be half forward all game. And then it did cross my mind. I'm like, with this 23rd man thing, he could be the low Todd guy in this team. I didn't expect it to be that low, though. I mean, for most of the game, it was 40. It was literally 40. And then I think he finally played out like the fourth quarter. I think he got like a 10% mid-time or something. Like, he got a little bit towards the end. Game was dead. Not good. I mean, look great. Kicked a couple of nice goals. He's got the frame. Looks like a man out there already. But if he's not going to get the role, for 150K, I don't think he's required. I mean, what do you think?
I learned a lesson. You might know what I'm going to say. I learned a lesson a few years ago, selling potentially good rookies early, and it can sting really bad. This one I don't think has a scope to sting that badly because the TOG and the role invested in a bad, etc. He's a good junior scorer. I think they have to play him. They'd be stupid not to. I don't really want to sell Sharp, to be honest. People are looking at, we have all these good rookies. He's probably the worst, and someone has to go for Murdoch. So if that's the case, it's fine, I think. I'm reluctant. I'm probably selling Carroll before Sharp for job security, just getting the crystal ball out. I think Stocker will take Carroll's spot at some point. It could be this week.
Yep.
I'm holding Sharp at the moment.
So if it was Carroll Sharp, I mean, let's see the teams. Thing is, Carroll does go up in price this week. I think that's what majority people would have. That's what majority of people would have. They'd have, Sharp, Carroll, Blamires. I mean, I'm different. I have Grill on my mid-bench, and I picked Gibka, so totally different. And I don't think many people were like me, so probably shouldn't speak in relation to my side. But if it's Sharp or Carroll, that's where it gets tough. Because if Carroll's picked,
probably just wait one.
You want to get one done this week, George. You don't want to. You only get 3 trades next week.
You don't want to boost if you don't have to as well.
I know you're like scared of trading good, but look, there's a lot of rookies on this game. Looking at my screen that aren't first year players, right? That like a lot of the rookie crop, they're all mature.
Yeah,
now, Dyson Sharp, I'm sure is going to be a great player one day, but right now, from what I saw, I don't know.
Yeah.
That Tog is a killer. He's just playing half forward for Essendon.
Surely that goes up.
We can think that, but we got to make money now. Now.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
Sounded
For
like
me,
my
it's
local
him. I mean, look.
knee played for a second there.
I had to, man.
Yeah.
Look, I could trade Selwood.
get you,
That's the
yeah.
other one. I could trade Selwood and flick Grill back and keep Sharp. But I'm like, am I doing that just to see Sharp play another game of 50 Tog and half forward when they get pelted? Oh, well, maybe against Port they won't get pelted.
But my point is, like, with Carroll versus Sharp, for example, who's making more money in 7 weeks?
Yeah, that's so much tougher. That's why I mean
I think Sharp, because he'll hold.
Yeah.
That's why, yeah. Perfect world, you get a game from Carroll, you sell him next week.
I can be in a position where I have neither, and I have.
You don't have Carroll, do you?
Nah, so I have just all other rookies that are, but also playing and making cash with better roles. So, yeah, the Carroll versus Sharp is different to me just going, I'll get rid of Sharp, and I don't have Carroll either anyway.
Yeah.
We spent enough on that. Gallup, you've got him. Yeah, look.
You can go. He'll make money, but whatever.
Yeah, happy to go this week. We don't know the Brizzy team this week, so it's like they got the bye. Does he even survive next week with Morris and
Gardner
and all those? Yeah,
could
and then
shuffle ZZ, etc.
There's a lot of stuff. Brizzy team's hard to predict. Murray,
Tobin Murray,
Adelaide's variety.
Too low. Yeah.
Carroll, we've spoken a heap about. So, is there any others that? I mean, Selwood. I did bring up Selwood myself. I think he's got great job security, but his scoring is just. I don't know if it's going to be that great.
If there's better out there next week, we'll see. But yeah, we got Bo Allen and Gibcus. Most people don't have. Could you make that switch, make a little bit of money? Or assess that next week. I'm not selling Selwood this week because he'll definitely play. So
yes. Yep. Cool. Any others, George? Before we move on to the mid prices?
Gothard looked all right. Scored 70 DT. I think he's a good option. I think if you start him, you're happy. If you don't have him, I don't think you need to trade into it.
Yep.
I wish I started. I don't know why I went Gallup over Gothard. What was I thinking? No, that's about it. Roses, you can get a cash out of. So yeah. I'm not going to target, but good to have.
Yep, that's pretty much it. Obviously, there's some others, but yeah, probably ones that people didn't go with. So mid prices, we'll finish it. Dover is actually the one. He was the one I was looking for. Yeah.
What did he score?
He got to 40 in the end, but he was on very, very low for the majority of the game. Maybe got like half his score in the last quarter. Maybe you wait a week, but again, I wouldn't be against someone flicking him for like a Murdoch, but it's probably hard. You probably don't have the DPP. All right, let's finish off with the mid prices. Defenders. We've talked a bit about a couple of these guys, but Houston, is it real? I mean, it's 2 weeks now. Has the bye. We can't get him in, but we can probably plan for him.
Cruisy roll.
Yeah.
Getting fed.
The Pies game style.
Yeah, getting the ball a lot. I think it is real. I guess still sort of scarred from watching what happened last year. Maybe he just had the hip issue that he had surgery on. So he's like, I'm not as confident, but because of the price, and like you can save a lot of money here, and you can do some nice things with, I don't know, whoever you're going down to, saving 100K or whatever. So I'll think I'll most likely grab him next week, but I'll get another look at Worrell first. I trust Worrell a bit more just with that age and stuff. I know Houston's got the scoring background, but Worrell, I think, did 100 posts by last year and now has a bit more friendly at game style, getting the ball in the hands a bit more, and no Keane as well.
Yeah. Yeah, the Pies thing, like it was just Dacos boys and everyone else. Maybe now it's Houston and the Dacos boys, and I mean, drops off. They all have 30 each, and it just drops off after that. Just feeding it to each other. You just spoke about Worrell. Look, he is still an intercepting third tall. He's going to have his down weeks, I still think, but maybe the floor is is risen. You know, there was like 50s and 60s there last week, like your handful, like 3 or 4. Maybe he can eliminate that this year, but I think he does 100. Like I don't think he's going to do 110 or something crazy. I just think he can do triple figures. How far or how much more than that, I'm not sure. Don't think he's going to be some amazing pick, but I think he's going to be reliable. Just sit there, be consistent, plays a safe fantasy game, so SuperCoach game, and yeah, I just don't think he's going to let me down too much. I don't know. That's the way I just felt safe with him. No stuffing around. I know what his role is. I know what he's going to do. Don't think he's going to blow it away, but yeah. So if you're interested, I wouldn't be against it. From like an error or something with DPP. Sis, yeah, I mean, I said to you last week when, after his opening round, I'm like, yeah, without the buy, I would be definitely looking his way. We both feel, some sort of pull towards Sis as well over the years.
Yeah, good fun owning Sis.
Yeah,
They're good in bad times.
Yeah, just a bit of that. It
He
brings a
still
bit of
has
fire to the
that
game.
nasty streak where it's like, I'm going to cross the line here and try and get away with it. It happens every game.
Yeah.
So there's going to be, I reckon there'll be the odd bump in the road, but I like him. Just the buys. Like I've got 3 rookies because I got Selwood in that, plus like heaps of mids and forwards as well. So like that buy is bad for most people. So can't really make it work, to be honest.
No.
Suffering enough in that buy. I like him though for that price.
He can get back to 110. I don't doubt it for a second, but
yeah, I think 105 probably.
Maybe,
That's what I reckon.
Yeah, I mean, you found your article from last year that he was, he's been dealing with that injury for what,
shoulder
12
and
months
hip
or
groin. So yeah, all 3.
So clear of that. Yeah, but obviously over the last 2 years, it also, coincided with just other players taking up more of that responsibility. So yeah, maybe you're right. The ceiling is a bit capped compared to what it was a few years ago. And then we've got Fonte, who's look. Can you do an Italian accent for me?
I was about to bring up Louis Fonte. No, I can't.
Or the font. I've seen people going Font and Pally. Okay, like relax. He has entered my team in the last 24 hours.
Oh, you're getting him?
I'm not sure because, as I said, I hate carrying like 500k if I just do Errol to Murdoch and sit on it. So, do I just do Errol to Fonte and then he scores 50, makes 30k, whatever? Wasted a stupid trade. We got 40 of the things. Get Max Holmes the next week.
I've looked at that, but I think that's 2 trades.
If he scores 90, you keep him, and the run is Saints, Collingwood, bye, then Richmond.
But you want to sell him at his buy though, so you want 2 weeks. We've got good fixture. Saints and Pies.
What if he goes 90? Like, just keep him.
Yeah, maybe.
It's a very probably not trade into pick. If you started him, you're like, sweet, see how he goes. But
yeah, I'm not sure
cash
on this one. This one where I'm like, what's his role exactly? He's just a medium defender that can rebound a bit. 3rd in line.
Take more responsibility. Yeah, it's another 3rd in line.
I can see it working. I probably won't go there.
Buderick with a bit more intercepting. Put it that way. Much more.
Yeah. Okay.
But also, Buderick's not playing with Lockie Ash and Whitfield. He's playing with Jakes and
Dundale and Jakes.
Yeah. So yeah, look, it's probably smart not to go there, but you should make a bit of cash. Maybe it's only 60k, or maybe it is over 100. Who knows? It really depends how he goes. This week is a good matchup.
No better than the Saints. So
yeah,
it's one if you want to go there. I think it's fine.
Just might be wasting trades. Young, Parish, and Bruin. So we think Bruin, he probably does have the worst role of the 3. Not the worst, but it's not, inside mid-time. He gets thrown in there sometimes, but maybe it is. Maybe it is just as good. It's consistent. It's a lot of opportunity for easier ball. And when I say easier, like he's working hard for it.
Yeah.
He's working hard for it though. His work rates looked very good this year, even throughout preseason. So Young and Parrish are the ones that, it came into my thinking with Fonte. I'm like, okay, if I carry this 350K or whatever it will be, to wait for Holmes next week or whatever other premium, it may well be Young or Parrish that make way instead of Fonte if he goes well. Because my problem was like, okay, what if Fonte goes well? Then whose head am I putting that on to get this premium back into my side that I've gone down?
Parrish and Young surely outdo Fonte.
I think so, but I'm like, they're all leaving my team at some point. It was like, okay, is Fonte going to make more cash in the near future? Young plays another week of 30% forward. He's got such a good fixture though, and maybe it was just the week he had on the track, or lack of.
I don't know if I'd bother trading in these three for what it's worth. Maybe Bruin, yes, but the other two, I think if I didn't start, just bet against, I reckon.
I agree, yeah. I don't think I would have thought the same 2 weeks ago. And look, maybe not. Parrish and Essendon did just get belted. He has the role, so he could improve, and he still scored 90. Let's not get it twisted, but
not a very convincing 90.
No, more data. You get more data, see what happens. They just may not be in our team as long as I even initially thought. So we'll see. But Bruin, yeah, I think if you don't have Bruin, you may as well get that done this week, I think. But that's the thing. It may be hard, George. You don't have money anywhere that's, another failed mid-pricer or something. It's hard to get up to them. So that is the one benefit of going a couple more mid-prices. You can get ones like this. Yeah, if you missed them or whatnot. And then forwards, Rochelle, your man. I'm sure it won't be long till you get him.
Locked and loaded in fantasy. I know Rankin's coming back. I think he's going to be all right. I think he's not going to be top. I think he's going to be close enough to top 6, I reckon.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. It will come down to who we get DPP-wise.
I think it'll be a good advantage for anyone that can get Philippou up to Rochelle. The problem is Philippou's probably got a bit of money in him, obviously, if he can stay injury free. So I'm like, yeah, I'm paying 370 for Rochelle, but Philippou could have 150K in him. But the point I'm trying to make is like people are going to feel to Philippou, and who knows what you're going to get. Because I think you can get 90s from Rochelle, so you can get a bit of a jump there if you can find the money. But I think he's a good pick. I think if you have Errol, I would look at Rochelle and look at what you can do with 300K or 200K, whatever it is.
Could be one for Buderick owners too. Let's say doesn't do great this week. You'll have to find some cash, obviously. But yeah. Yeah, I'll think about it.
You can give another week with Rankin back, see how it goes. But I expect Rankin to play more forward this week off the hammy.
Yep. Max Hall, look, if he got any answer midfield, which for some reason he doesn't, I'd definitely look his way. But 2 CBAs, too. I think.
I think Kingy, I was just listening to Fireball. Fireball was a pisser this morning. I don't know if you heard it because of the North and Port matchup. But yeah. Kingy was saying you got to get this guy in CBAs. You got to get him in.
Oh, there you go.
So I just thought, I don't know, like it could happen. Well, I guess we'll wait for it to happen and then go from there.
I swear he was getting them last year at some point. Like now he's just getting none. I mean, he's still dominating off half forward. It's kind of that weird one. It's like C-Mac. He's so good forward to center. Maybe they just
maybe that's.
But who's rolling through? Who's rolling through there? I guess Windy's now.
Bit of Windy, bit of Nass, bit of McRae, bit of Philippou. Garcia last week. I can't remember if it was this week.
Yeah, Garcia.
Flanders is Max in there as well.
Yeah, it's tough. Okay, I guess it's hard. And Juzzy.
Yeah, McInerney with no Gordon.
True, I did not think of him. Yeah, he was already getting mid-time, like more than Gordon.
Yeah.
The last 2 weeks, I'm pretty sure. So
he's got that outside transition game as well. I think I'll wait after the buy and just sort of assess from there, but I don't think I can really justify 500K for him at this point of the year with the buy.
No. But that's one to monitor for sure.
50% CBA.
Yeah, I guess Warner's going to get an uptick. He was maybe getting forward status. Yeah, okay. But we'll talk about more, DPPs as the weeks get on. It's too early now, but there might be a few interesting ones. And then the failed ones, George, straight from your notepad last night.
Yeah, pretty much.
Kirch, it was flagged. From
If
some
you weren't like
people
on
across,
Twitter or Discord in the know, it was a hard one.
this is
because
where
there
the
was
game
too
is
many
an
whispers
advantage.
going around. Yeah.
Yeah, where there's a advantage, how accessible this is to you or possible on weekends. But yeah, before the game, training mid. I mean, during the week, training mids, right? But before the game,
Yeah.
manage minutes, playing for like mid forward.
Yeah.
Sucks if you didn't get that. Yeah.
Myers, Parker, Daniel halfback. I think he's just instant trade.
Yep. Absolutely. Bergman. I mean, it's funny. Bergman. That's what people would have gone. Oh, McKercher. See you later. Get Bergman in.
Didn't go.
Not the same situation, but bloody similar, where he just doesn't have a positional role locked down in the team, and I think he played everywhere. A bit of back, tiny bit of mid, majority wing. Like, yeah,
33% CBA. I think I know the fixture's nice. You could give another week with Essendon. But now that Rosie's back in the midfield, 57% CBA, I think that was kind of banking on him in the back line for the Bergman pick. Horn Francis will go back in there eventually. It's just not a long-term solution to defend a premium.
No.
I guess if you got another if you want, but I think preparing for a parachute next week.
You got Errol to deal with. I guess you give it one more, see what happens. But yeah, that'd be annoying. Blackiston again. I think give one more, but
Dante this week, give it another one. I reckon. I think the realization of what can happen in a bad ruck fixture was on full show, and that's coming very soon for Blackiston. So it's gonna be hard for him to make much cash. And I think after just how he went, they're gonna try and rush. I don't know if they will rush Brian in, but they're gonna want him sooner rather than later.
First game, give another one. See how he goes. Might improve.
Yep.
Kitty, I wouldn't begrudge you if you want to turf him as the buy.
He's just missed so much footy, and then they're keeping all of them back there still, all the flankers. So there's no room for him. Like a bunch of premiership flankers. Like he's just not going to walk in and replace him after missing 2 years.
Yeah.
You could hold, but with the buy-in, I think job security questions potentially. I'd be happy to sell to like a grill.
Yep, that's exactly right. I think you do that. If you don't have grill, just get that done. Lindsay, I think he worked into the game, but you've said it a million times. It's been said by the coach a million times. Their game style, the way they play, just may not, or it's not going to. It's not going to help him. Like they get it and go. There's no marks. There's no. You need that. You need those extra few marks, cheap kicks a game to push your average from what he might do 65, 70 to 80 plus, which is at his price what you need. So kick-ins, they're all Salem's. Like, I think you can hold. I'm not going to turf him.
Hold, but just temper your expectations what you're going to get. Like I think best case might be 80.
Yeah, I'm just not married to him, I don't think. Look, it's the way the first game went on the weekend. Maybe it goes differently, but the way they're playing is not going to change. That's what Stephen King's said all summer. So Windsor had the role. George said he had a Corky, obviously a little bit of wing time, but look, he's fine. Just hold it. He's suited to the current game. He could have scored more. Could have scored, like he missed a couple shots on goal, kicked one in the full. Like that's going to be his letdown, but doesn't tackle a lot of heaps either. I think I saw a few D's fans flaming him for how bad of a tackler he is, which when you're in the midfield, you need to be able to do that.
I mean, he's
outside guy playing midfield, isn't he? Like,
Yeah.
to get 13 handball receive.
Never really been there.
We're just going to feed it to him. Feed it to him.
Yeah.
Let him run. Degoe, yeah. Bye-bye. Cogs, bye-bye, I think. They're the last two you had on the list.
I think you can hold Cox for one. He's got the big score in the system and then flick him.
True, I forgot about that. So, yeah. Degoe, though, they might have to try him out the goal square. He might be their key forward from here on out. So,
yeah.
He can go. All right. We always manage to get to an hour, George. Don't shut up, do we? Captains and vice captains. What do we got?
Yes, this is a good one. If you have the Bont, you can VC him against the Crows. If you have Anderson or Petrarca, I'm a bit more bullish on the Crows midfield after being
I was
so
going to
negative.
say, are we not doing this every week where you just look at who the Crows are playing and say, VC, this man?
He went 170 last time.
Yeah, it's a Bont. Freaking hell, you can VC him every week. I did see a few teams have English and Bont and VC English. I'm like, bro.
Yeah.
If you have Bont, VC the Bont.
Just on the side note, like in terms of Gordon replacements, probably if you don't have Bont, I think you just bet against and get that relief in the bye week. I reckon. Can't pay. Such a blunder not starting him.
It's not a blunder, George.
I think it is. We'll see.
Rewind 3 weeks ago. I'm starting Bont. I don't.
Yeah.
This man is like. Anyway, yeah.
So
relief next week, but then it's a disbelief, or not disbelief, but
hide
behind the couch next week after that.
God. Anyway, captains. I'm just looking at it now. You've got Gold Coast against Richmond at the G, so you could go Petrarca or Anderson. You have a Butters VC against Essendon, and you also have a Sheasel against the West Coast.
Cherry as well.
Cherry too. I'm thinking a Butters VC into a Sheasel.
Yep. Yeah, it's either that for me or Track VC against the Tigs.
Yeah.
To go 3 for 3, best on grounds. Back in Melbourne, I don't know, maybe he hits up a couple of his favourite spots, a couple of pasta places, sees a family.
Yeah. Full of carbs, ready to roll.
Ready to roll and just kicks another 5 on the G. Who knows? But there's Ash in there again, St Kilda as well, maybe, if you're feeling fruity. But I think we covered the main ones. Track, Butters, She's on the last game of the round, or Cherry if you're feeling a bit cherry baby against Flynn, who is completely done.
Is there any world UBC
molested him on the week yesterday? Wits absolutely molested him. What'd you say?
Is there any world you chuck the VC on Butters? Like not the C, but the VC. I know you didn't like what you saw.
Oh, for me personally, there is, but maybe I'll just do it on Track.
Okay.
Because he's going to kill us.
You reckon? Or certainly.
Who do we have to play on him? Maybe Vlosten's back, but still.
I can't believe how good he looks. Insane. Like, yeah.
If you turn on KO on Saturday and see him stand next to Jacob Hopper at the centre bounce, I mean, come on, man.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
Hopefully it's Lawler, actually. But again, he's not going to lock him out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Could be ugly.
Yeah.
It is tough because Butters should realistically kill Essendon, but I just hated watching him on the weekend. I've never really said that about him, but he's killing back. Yeah.
I think he'll be, yeah. Oh, I think VC Butters into She's or Sherry for me.
Yep, sounds good. All right. Thanks for watching, listening. I hope we didn't ramble too much. I think I felt like I rambled a bit this potty, but
that was good for first round, I reckon.
Yeah. Good luck this week. Don't trade too crazy. Don't hit the boost button unless you've got, I don't know, Gordon.
I've hit it in the past, so I think you can.
Feels like
if you need to, I think that's all right.
Yeah,
try to save one over 2 weeks, though.
Yeah. Another week of data is always good, though.
Yep.
And it's not like don't think it's been that much of a carnage thing besides Errol. So yeah, thanks for watching, as I said, listening, and we will see you next week. Cheers.